All right, imagine this. You're prepping for a job interview. Not just any job, though, a cabinet maker position. You've got the skills, the passion for woodworking. But how do you really nail that interview?
Well, that's where this deep dive comes in. We're using RoleCatcher's resources, going beyond the typical interview advice. We're talking deep career insights, AI tools to make your prep super personalized.
So we're not just talking generic tips, we're going deep.
Exactly. RoleCatcher offers tailored advice, in-depth career guides, sample interview questions, all designed specifically for cabinet making. Think of it as a roadmap to navigate that interview process successfully.
Love that, a roadmap. So where do we begin with this roadmap?
Well, we'll break it down into 3 parts. First, we'll dive into some sample interview questions, get those expert insights. It's like peeking into the interviewer's mind.
Okay, sounds good. What's next?
Then sprinkle in some wisdom from the Cabinet Maker Career Guide. And finally, explore how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon, helping you tailor answers, get feedback. You ready to transform from woodworker to interview rockstar?
Absolutely, let's do this. First question from the guide. Can you tell us about your experience in cabinet making? Seems simple, but what's the hidden meaning?
It's more than just listing past jobs, right?
Right.
They want to see passion, depth of knowledge. The interview guide, Cabinet Maker, suggests highlighting the types of projects you've tackled, specific tools, techniques you've mastered, what makes your experience unique.
So let's say I've restored antique furniture. Would that be a good detail to add?
Absolutely. Shows specialized skills, a dedication to craftsmanship. This is where the career guide, Cabinet Maker, comes in handy. You could even mention experience with specific wood types,
Okay, so
like hardwoods versus softwoods, highlighting you understand their characteristics.
instead of just saying I've worked with oak, it's more like I used oak for its durability in a project where strength was key.
Exactly, elevates your answer. Now, let's think ahead. What follow-up questions might they ask? They could ask you to elaborate on a specific project.
Makes sense.
Or maybe about challenges you've faced working with different types of wood. It's like a mental chess match. You're thinking a few steps ahead.
Definitely.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge. The AI feedback feature, practice answers out loud, get personalized suggestions. It's like a virtual coach.
That's incredible. Okay, next question. Can you walk us through your process of designing and building a custom cabinet?
Ooh, that's a bit more in depth.
It is, yeah.
This is your chance to showcase your methodical approach, those problem-solving skills. The guide stresses breaking it down step by step, talking about taking measurements, creating blueprints, selecting materials.
Like revealing your secret recipe almost. Would mentioning CAD software be good here? I know the career guide talks about those technology advancements.
Absolutely shows you're embracing industry trends, using those tools for precision and efficiency.
Okay, good.
Now, a potential follow-up question here could be, how do you adapt your design process when faced with unexpected limitations?
Ah, I see.
Like maybe a client's budget or space constraints, right? Thinking on your feet, those problem-solving skills again.
It's tricky.
And to be as prepared as possible, use RoleCatcher's AI to score your CV against the job description beforehand. Highlights any skill gaps, so you can address those proactively in your answers, showing you're well-rounded.
I like that strategy.
Yeah.
Question number 3. How do you ensure the quality of your work? Feels like it's all about the details.
It is. You're showing dedication to delivering excellent work, right?
Right.
So think about your quality control process. Do you double-check measurements, specific techniques for joinery? Guide emphasizes highlighting these specifics.
Because anyone can say they're detail-oriented, but you got to prove it.
Exactly. Tie in some insights from the pros and cons section of the career guide, too.
Okay, how so?
You could say something like, I know cabinet making is physically demanding, requires long hours, but I'm dedicated to maintaining high quality, even under pressure.
Powerful, right? Yeah, that's good. Acknowledges the challenges, highlights your commitment. I imagine a follow-up could be, tell me about a time you found a flaw in your work and how you fixed it.
Very likely they want to see how you handle mistakes,
Right.
how you learn from them. Okay, this next question is interesting. Can you describe how you collaborate with clients to determine their needs and preferences?
Uh-huh. That's like they want a mind reader.
Right. It's about understanding what the client wants, even if they can't articulate it.
Gotcha.
You're not just building cabinets, you're building relationships. This question assesses communication skills, your ability to translate a client's vision into reality.
So it's asking the right questions, understanding their style, practical needs.
Precisely. Consider those typical interactions mentioned in the career guide, right? Do you present different design options, use visuals to help them understand, valuable details to share?
What about mentioning familiarity with some associations from the career guide's resources? Like name-dropping a renowned cabinet maker or design firm, would that be impressive?
Absolutely. Shows you're engaged in the industry, aware of different styles and trends. And this actually highlights one of RoleCatcher's AI advantages.
Oh, yes.
Employers can discover you on the platform if you opt in, so make sure your profile showcases your skills and interests.
It's working for you, even when you're not actively searching. Okay, on to question 5. Can you describe your experience with different types of wood and their characteristics? Time to show off that wood expertise.
It is. Fundamental part of being a cabinet maker. Think back to those core knowledge areas from the career guide. Have you worked with hardwoods? Oak, maple, cherry. What about softwoods like pine or cedar? Each wood, unique properties. The interviewer wants to see you grasp that.
So if they ask about oak, I shouldn't just say it's strong.
Yeah.
Talk about the grain pattern, durability, maybe even specific project.
Exactly. Don't shy away from being a little technical here either.
Oh, okay.
Mentioning different wood joinery techniques like dovetails or mortise and tenon joints, it can really make an impression.
Good point. Shows you're not just a button pusher. You understand the craft. Now, I bet a follow-up question could be, how would you choose the right type of wood for a project? Taking into account things like cost, durability, and aesthetics.
Great follow-up. Demonstrates critical thinking skills. You're not just following a formula, but making informed decisions.
Okay, on to question 6. Can you describe a time when you had to problem solve while building a cabinet? This one is all about those unexpected challenges.
It is, and it's a chance to show your adaptability and resilience. Think back to a time when you faced a design challenge, maybe a material issue, or even a unique client request.
Something that made you think outside the box.
Yes, because things don't always go according to plan in the workshop.
Absolutely. I have a feeling this next question ties into that whole planning aspect.
You're spot on. Question 7. Can you describe your experience with the different types of joinery?
Getting into the nitty-gritty of craftsmanship now.
We are. It's not just about using the tools, it's about understanding why certain joints are used.
Right, the structural integrity.
Exactly. Have you used dovetail joints, known for their strength and their beautiful look? Or maybe mortise and tenon joints, super durable for furniture frames. This is where you shine as a true craftsperson.
I'm guessing a follow-up could be, can you explain why you choose one type of joinery over another for a specific project?
Spot on. Shows you're making informed choices based on the project's needs.
Okay, this next one is intriguing. Can you describe how you prioritize and schedule your work? They're testing our organizational skills as much as woodworking abilities.
True. Cabinet making often involves juggling multiple projects. Different deadlines, client expectations. They want to see those time management skills, how you stay organized under pressure.
It's like being a project manager and be a craftsperson.
Exactly. Think about how you approach a new project. Do you create a detailed schedule, break tasks down into smaller steps?
Right.
Do you have tools or techniques you use to keep track of everything?
This is where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful, right?
Yeah.
I remember that video practice feature can give you feedback on your delivery, help you sound clear and confident.
Absolutely. It's like a mock interview, but with an AI expert giving personalized tips.
Okay, let's move on. Question 9. Can you describe your experience with finishing techniques? This is where the wood comes to life.
It is. Finishing is that final touch. Transforms functional furniture into a beautiful piece. The interviewer wants to understand your knowledge of different techniques, how they impact the final look and feel.
We're talking staining, painting, varnishing, maybe even things like French polishing or distressing.
Exactly. Remember those core knowledge areas. Have you worked with oil-based finishes? Known for their durability, right?
Yeah.
What about water-based finishes? Great for their fast drying time. Each finish has its own unique properties. Demonstrate you understand those nuances.
Wouldn't it be impressive to mention specific projects where you experimented with different finishes?
For sure.
Like, saying, I used a specific technique to create an antique look for a client's vintage-style cabinet.
Absolutely. Shows you're not just following a procedure, using creativity and expertise to create unique pieces. Don't forget, you can use RoleCatcher's AI to tailor answers.
Right.
Upload the job description, AI analyzes it, suggests key skills and experience to highlight.
Amazing. Okay, the final question in this section. Can you describe how you stay up to date with new tools and techniques in cabinet making? This is about showing that commitment to lifelong learning, staying ahead of the curve.
It's crucial, especially in a field that's constantly evolving. New tools, materials, techniques. They want to know you're passionate about your craft, always looking to improve.
So it's not enough to be skilled in the traditional techniques. You need to be aware of advancements in CNC machining, laser cutting, all that new stuff.
Precisely. Think about how you stay informed about industry trends. Do you attend trade shows? Subscribe to woodworking magazines? Participate in online forums?
And mentioning specific examples, maybe of new tools you've learned and incorporated into your work, that would be good, right?
Absolutely. Shows you're actively seeking new knowledge, applying it to your craft.
This has been amazing, a real deep dive into the world of cabinet maker interviews. But there's still so much to explore.
Right. In part 2, we'll go beyond the technical aspects, delve into those essential soft skills that can make or break an interview, regardless of the job.
So stay tuned for more insights, strategies to help you ace that cabinet maker interview.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Welcome back to our deep dive, all about acing that cabinet maker interview. We covered some essential questions, but let's dig a bit deeper into how to impress those interviewers, Go beyond the basics.
Yeah, I'm ready for more insights, give our listener every advantage. We left off talking about staying up to date in the field, right?
That's right. How important continuous learning is, especially in cabinet making, and how to showcase that dedication during an interview, not just saying, I like to learn.
Right. Showing, not telling. So what if the interviewer follows up that last question about staying up to date with something like, give me a specific example of a new tool or technique you've learned and how you applied it?
That's a great one. Perfect chance to show off your proactive learning style. You could talk about a new type of wood you've been testing out, a software program you've learned, or even a joinery technique you've added to your skill set.
This is where those resources mentioned in the career guide come in handy.
Absolutely.
Like, if I drop a specific example from an association like the Architectural Woodwork Institute, that would really show my commitment to professional development.
Exactly. Shows you're actively involved in the industry, always learning. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you find those relevant resources based on the specific job. Saves a ton of time.
Like a personal research assistant. Now I'm curious, are there any other nuggets of wisdom from the career guide? Stuff that might not be directly related to interview questions, but could still be helpful.
Ooh, that's a good point. And it highlights why understanding the context of the industry is important, right? It's not just about memorizing answers. The career guide is full of information about the cabinet making field, current trends, even pros and cons. Grasping these nuances helps you give more insightful, genuine answers.
It's about connecting the dots,
Yeah.
seeing the bigger picture, showing that you're truly passionate about this career, not just looking for any job.
Exactly. For example, the career guide talks about the demand for sustainable and eco-friendly furniture. That's something you can weave into your answers, showing you're aware of those trends.
It shows you're forward thinking, care about the environment, and you're more likely to align with companies that share those values, right?
Exactly. And don't underestimate that pros and cons section either. It can help you address any concerns the interviewer might have.
Like how?
Well, if they mention the physical demands of the job, you can acknowledge it but emphasize your passion and resilience. Like, I know it's demanding, which is why I prioritize safety and technique in everything I do.
Turn those potential weaknesses into strengths.
Mm.
Now, you mentioned RoleCatcher's AI-powered CV scoring earlier. Can you explain a bit more about how that works?
Sure. RoleCatcher's AI takes your CV and compares it to the job description, right?
Right.
It figures out the skills and keywords they're looking for, then gives you a score based on how well you match up.
So it's like having a virtual recruiter giving feedback on your CV.
Exactly. It tells you what to improve. Highlights any gaps in your skills or experience that you should address, either on your CV or during the interview. No more guessing games.
Wow, amazing. I want to talk about the next section of the interview guide, advancing your career from entry to development. This feels like it's about showcasing your potential for growth.
It is. It's key if you're looking at this as a long-term career. The guide talks about those typical career stages for a cabinet maker, from entry level all the way up to senior positions. It outlines the tasks, skills, responsibilities for each stage so you know where you fit in.
So it's not just about proving you can handle the job today, but that you can grow with the company.
Exactly. It even gives you example profiles so you can see real examples of what they're looking for at each level.
Let's say the interviewer asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years with our company? How can we use these career stage insights to craft a good answer?
Oh, that's a classic. They're trying to understand your ambition if you align with their goals. Using the career guide, you can paint a picture of your professional growth.
So instead of just saying, I want to be a manager, I could say something like, I see myself progressing to a junior cabinet maker role within 2 years, taking on more projects, and eventually leading a small team. I'm interested in mentioning a specific area, and I'm eager to help the company grow in that area. Something like
That
that.
is fantastic. It's specific, ambitious, shows a clear understanding of the career path within the company.
And it ties back to those skills and knowledge areas. Proves you're not just chasing a promotion, but you're dedicated to the craft.
You got it. The career guide also talks about continuous learning. Mentioning specific courses, certifications you're pursuing, shows you're committed to staying ahead of the curve, bringing new skills to the table.
It shows you're invested in your own growth and in the company's growth, too.
And don't forget networking. Attending events, connecting with other professionals,
Right. It's not always what you know, but who you know.
Exactly. Keeps you in the loop about career advancements and you build relationships.
And RoleCatcher has that network management tool, right? It helps organize those connections.
Absolutely. Building a network can make a huge difference.
This has been great. We've covered so much. From specific questions to big picture career advice. Plus, we learned how AI can help us along the way.
For sure.
But there's one more piece to this puzzle, right? We'll cover that next time.
You bet. In our next segment, we'll dive into those soft skills. Those are crucial for any interview, no matter the job. Those personal qualities that really make you stand out.
Stay tuned for more insights. We'll help you absolutely crush that cabinet maker interview. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into that cabinet maker interview. We've covered the technical skills, career progression, even how AI can give you a leg up. But there's one more crucial piece, isn't there? Like, we've got the toolbox, but need to know how to use the tools.
That's a great analogy. And, it's interesting, even with all the technical skills in the world, you still need those soft skills to really shine in an interview.
Those soft skills, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking communication, problem solving, teamwork, those kinds of things.
Exactly. Those are universal, valuable in any job, really. Can't underestimate them.
Okay, so let's break it down. This time, instead of going question by question, we'll look at the overall approach to the interview.
Right.
From that soft skills perspective. How can we use what we've learned from RoleCatcher to help with that?
Well, one thing that stands out in the career guide is the focus on typical interactions. Cabinet makers aren't just working with wood, are they?
No, definitely not.
They're working with people, clients, designers, other craftspeople. It's a collaborative field.
So even if they don't directly ask about teamwork, I should be weaving in those examples throughout my answers.
Definitely. If they ask about a tough project, talk about how you collaborated with a colleague or negotiated a solution with a picky client. Shows you're a team player.
And that ties into communication, too. The career guide mentions that even though technology is changing the industry, clear communication is still key.
Absolutely. Think about how you'd explain a complex design to someone who doesn't know anything about woodworking. Can you simplify the jargon? That's valuable.
It's like that saying, you don't really understand something until you can explain it simply. One thing that caught my eye in the pros and cons section, it mentioned the long hours and potential for injuries. How do we address that without sounding negative?
That's where resilience comes in. Acknowledge the challenges, but frame them as motivators. You could say, I understand this is a physically demanding job. That's why I prioritize safety and technique in everything I do.
Ooh, I like that. Proactive approach. And speaking of being proactive, one of the best things about RoleCatcher is that AI feedback. Practicing those questions.
So helpful. And it's more than just what you say. It analyzes how you say it. Your tone, pace. Are you making eye contact with the camera?
Like a virtual director for your interview. Okay, last soft skill I want to touch on is problem solving. We've seen that theme a lot, but how do we really emphasize it?
Think about the bigger picture. Problem solving isn't just about fixing a broken joint, is it? It's about creative thinking, adaptability, learning from your mistakes.
So if they ask about a time I messed up, focus on what I learned, how it made me a better craft person.
Exactly. Shows you're not afraid of challenges. You can even pull examples from outside of woodworking. Maybe you solved a problem volunteering or in a different field altogether.
Good point. Okay, as we wrap this up, I feel like our listener is not just prepared for this interview, but empowered. What's one final thought you want to leave them with?
You've got the tools, the knowledge to handle the technical stuff. But you're also an artist, a craft person. Don't forget to let that passion shine through. What unique value do you bring to the table? That's the question that will make you memorable.
Beautifully said. Remember, RoleCatcher is there to help you. Explore those resources, practice your answers, and go show them what you're made of.
Best of luck. Let us know how it goes. We love hearing those success stories.
Until next time, happy woodworking.